Hi guys, in today's video we see how a new world order may be emerging right in front of our eyes. Also, please feel free to check out our video that we made last week on the Russia-Ukraine love affair. Alright, on with the story now. The West is going all guns blazing while dealing with Russia. First, they stopped Russia from accessing SWIFT. SWIFT, you can think of it as the Gmail for banks. Payment platforms like Apple Pay and Google Pay turned off their services, leaving millions in a spin. Companies that had a working financial relationship with Russia started beginning to cut off ties. Examples include big names. For example, number one, the oil giant Exxon wanted to break its partnership with Russia-owned Rosneft, even though they were expected to lose $4 billion. Can you imagine that? MasterCard and Visa have decided to stop processing Russian payments, and Russian citizens are therefore having trouble paying for things on international forums. But they went a step further. They blocked Russia's foreign reserves. You see, over the years, the Russian central bank had painstakingly stashed away extra money for their emergencies. They had gold, dollars, euros parked in Western banks. In fact, let me tell you the figure, some $630 billion worth of reserves. Yes, all in all. But when they desperately needed to access it, Western banks refused to play the ball. They are blocking access, and Russia can't seem to dip into their own reserves. It is practically useless now. And the goal here is quite simple. Strangle Russia. That is to make it a financial outcast, crush the value of its currency ruble, and paralyze its economy. Once this happens, Russia won't be able to wage this war. How will they pay their soldiers or even supply ration to them? Boys and girls, this is financial warfare, and it is changing the world. For starters, there is now a trust deficit in the global financial system. What is that, you may ask? You see, more often than not, countries simply trust each other. It is the default position. I will give you my money, you give it back to me when I need it. And it has worked quite well so far. However, note that most countries have used US dollars to signal trust, since it has been the de facto global currency for most part of the time. That's what most countries use while trading with their international counterparts. Even India has billions of dollars set aside for these very reasons. But now everyone is wondering whether it's actually prudent, whether it is actually practical to do so. After all, if the West can pull the plug so easily, how can you trust dollars or even euros for that matter? Are there any other alternatives available? Well, there is gold and other commodities you could stock back home, or you could figure out a way how to trade with countries without the use of dollars. For instance, India and Russia already have a successful setup through their bilateral relationship that allows them to trade with rupees and rubles, that is the Russian currency. And if every country starts thinking along the same lines, then it could change the dollar supremacy, I guess. Perhaps even give rise to an alternative financial order with some other country leading the pack. Because every time the US and its allies kick off any country, in fact, off the dollar system, that country needs to go somewhere, right? It can't cut itself off from the world like North Korea. So it finds allies that have similar interests. And those allies have to have significant clout, both economic clout and political clout. If they have a payment system of their own that is globally integrated, then it's an added bonus. Can you name a country that fits this bill? Yeah, China. China has already allied with Iran, and it looks like they are also cozying up to Russia with the given current scenario. Take the MasterCard or Visa issue, for instance. After they tightened the noose around Russia, reports started emerging in the press that Russian banks may partner with UnionPay, China's very own card payment company. And if you're wondering why UnionPay and not RuPay, well, know that UnionPay claims that their cards are accepted in over 180 countries. RuPay, meanwhile, still uses Discover Global Network, a US-based company, to process international payments. So it's possible that the Chinese yuan may come to gain a higher degree of acceptance in the coming days globally. However, there is one small caveat here. Unlike the US, China is not really an open economy. The red dragon likes to strictly control its currency, meaning if it wants to replace the dollar and get everyone to use the yuan, instead it might have to compromise a lot. Will it? Well, only time will tell. Meanwhile, the big question for India is this: where do we fit in all of this? Well, for starters, we need to be more Atmanirbhar for sure, but we also need to think more globally. Sure, we have RuPay to counter MasterCard and Visa, and we have UPI as an alternative to Apple Pay and Google Pay. But that's not enough, is it? We obviously cannot join an alternative financial order led by our good friend China. Border disputes and all that, and we risk facing sanctions if we side with Russia. So for now, we might be domestically self-sufficient, but we need more global clout. We need to start preparing for a future where we are not as dependent as we are today on the US and EU. And we need to start doing it right now. So that's all about the new financial global order. Before we part, do not forget to subscribe to this channel for more interesting videos like this. Until next time, stay awesome. Signing off.